Hello, and welcome to episode 47 of Sunday League Pundit Show. We're not happy about football this week, are we, gentlemen?
No.
Tell you what, I want to just mention one thing before we get straight into our football.
Yeah?
I don't know if you've heard, but have you heard about Chelsea versus Barrow in the Cup on the 24th of September, Tuesday the 24th?
No.
Have you heard anything about it at all?
No.
Right, now Barrow, all the players have been offered £250 if they win it.
Okay.
Right, as a bonus.
Yeah.
If they lose, 1,000.
What?
I swear to God, that's true. Now, had you thought that maybe it's a typo in the contract, right? 6 different places within that contract, the very same thing is mentioned. £250 bonus for winning, £1,000 bonus for losing. Now, surely that goes against the ethics of football.
That is definitely against the ethics of football.
There's got to be something that's not quite right
there shouldn't be an incentive to lose.
Exactly. You shouldn't get a bonus for losing.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
No, but what I'm saying
it's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but having a bonus is an incentive.
Yeah.
And when the incentive to lose is higher than it is to win, that just makes absolutely no sense.
Absolutely mental, isn't it? I know it's not for a couple of weeks, and I probably should have left it till next week, but
You saw it.
I heard
wrote
it,
down.
I looked into it, I realised it was real, and I'm like, oh my God, that is the worst.
Please tell me the FA are looking into it.
As far as I'm aware, no.
But that...
As far as I'm aware, they're not. Make it make sense.
It doesn't.
Because to me, there's no sense to be made there.
Their chairman is a plonker.
I hope he gets fined. I'm not going to lie. I hope somebody looks into it properly and fines him. Because that, for me, is just stupid.
Yep.
Like, why would you want to intentionally lose? Because that's basically what he wants, is to intentionally lose. Anyway.
But why would you? I mean, financially for the club, it's better to go through.
Of course it is. I know they've got Chelsea, but Chelsea, I mean, they're no great shakes at the minute, are they? Let's be honest. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Hey, they've had a couple of decent results, but they're still all over the place. If I was Barrow, I'd be like, go for it. Yeah. Just hammer it as much as you possibly can, and you could get a result against these. Because they're not the Chelsea that they were 15 years ago. You're not playing against Drogba or John Terry. Go for it.
I still think
apparently
that Chelsea team will probably still win against Barrow.
Now it's going to be 8-9-0 because Barrow is just not going to care.
Yeah.
I mean, at that level, an extra £750, I imagine, is massive.
You've got to remember, though, with
That's
Chelsea...
Like 2 months, mortgage, isn't it?
Yeah, but with Chelsea, they're going to be playing their complete second string because you've got to think, even like the European competition, they did not even register Cole Palmer in their European team.
Because they want to give him a break.
It's again, all about players, so basically their best player is not included in there.
Yeah, but you know my opinion of their manager. He's a fucking retard.
So...
Yeah, you've never liked him.
But the players that play against Barrow got something to prove, haven't they? Because they'll want to be stepping up. Because it'll be somebody like, Jadon Sancho's probably get a game, a start in that one. I mean, he started off all right, coming off a bench, got an assist. He's already playing better than he has done for Man United.
It just didn't make any sense to me, to be honest. It really didn't. And I thought, I hope you hadn't heard about it. I know I'm desperate to bring it up. I'm glad you hadn't heard about it, actually, to get your, your initial sort of response to it. Anyway, let's go on to Friday. Hull 0, Sheffield United 2. Tin Ribs, any thoughts? Hull 0, Sheffield United 2. Was it just what you expected?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Leave Sheffield United in 6th. Blackburn, Darryl. Blackburn are
they're doing well.
They're 3rd. 11 points from 5 games. Plus 6 goal difference. Surely you can't have any complaints.
Please tell me you saw the Derby game.
I didn't.
You saw the miss I sent you, though.
Oh, I saw the miss you sent me, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's horrendous.
I saw the scenes after the QPR equaliser as well against Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday scored in like the 93rd minute, and then QPR went and scored in the 96th minute, and they went absolutely bonkers. And it was a proper goal line scramble.
It was.
Oh, I heard about that on the radio.
Oh,
They
it's
were going
nuts.
on about like the worst goal to be scored or something because it was like pinball.
Yeah, it was.
It was your typical early 90s goalmouth scramble. No one can get it away. No one
when you
can
couldn't
get it.
see the 6-yard box, it
Yeah.
was just mud.
Yeah.
I remember the days. They were good days. But yeah, Blackburn beat Bristol City 3-0 to remain in third. Luton won 1-0 against Millwall, so they had been struggling, hadn't they, Luton?
Yeah.
So to get their first win of the season, they'll be.
I don't think they'll get many. I think they'll just be mid-table.
I think they'll be happy with that as long as they don't get relegated. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think they were probably starting to panic.
Probably.
A result I was quite pleased with. Sorry, Tom. Oxford 1, Stoke 0. Always happy when Stoke lose. Oxford now 7th. Stoke are now 13th. Quite happy about that. Been through again. Blackburn 3, Bristol City 0. Great result for Blackburn. They're absolutely flying at them.
yeah.
Ohashi, is it?
Yeah.
Looks like a player,
I
doesn't
told
he?
you. I did tell you.
Jesus Christ, he looks like a
No.
player.
Unreal.
Derby 1, Cardiff 0. Luckily, because otherwise that guy would have been made to walk back from every away side this season, I think, if that had cost him the game. He was literally played through. He got the entire half to himself.
Yeah.
He'd gone past the keeper.
Well, he went past
Yeah.
the keeper on the centre circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it one of them too much time to think about it?
I think he panicked
I
when the
don't think
defenders
he
run up
thought
behind
about
him.
it at all, which was the problem.
I
Like
think
the
he
only thing
panicked.
you need to think in that situation is just roll it straight.
No, but
That's it.
He actually
And he's
took
lent.
that shot from outside the area.
Yeah.
He's
Why?
panicked because the defenders run up behind him. He's panicked.
But even so, you've got enough time to just.
Still funny as fuck.
Oh, hilarious! Absolutely hilarious. Like the worst miss
Yeah.
that I've ever seen. But Jesus Christ, take your time, kid.
What we need is someone to do another one of those, the old school own goals and gas sort of
Yeah.
videos that you used to get.
Oh, that would be on there three times.
Yeah, we need a new one.
That would be on there 3 times. So yeah, he's lucky because Derby still won it, albeit only 1-0. He could have made it a lot more comfortable. But yeah, Derby now in 8th, so doing all right. Cardiff, it's unfortunate, isn't it? They're
West
1
Brom
point at
have
the bottom.
gone top of the league as well because they won 3-0 against Pompey, who were second bottom in the league. So
And Wayne Rooney
What a
managed
shame.
to get a win.
against Sunderland as well. That was a bit of a
West Brom
surprise
lost today. I'm
result.
looking at
Yeah,
yesterday's results.
yeah.
Yes. It was probably 5 yellow cards in that game and all.
I think we've gone through most of the games in the Championship there, apart from one, which I'm sure we're about to go on to.
There's a couple. You've got Middlesbrough 1, Preston 1. Bit of a drab affair from what I can gather. Plymouth 3, Sunderland 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1-1 with QPR, Swansea 1, Norwich 0, Watford 1, Coventry 1. One more game to talk about. Take it away, Tim.
Well,
For those that don't know, he's a Leeds fan, and we're going to go on to the Leeds versus Burnley game, which was full of thrills, spills, and excitement.
He was very confident
He was
Yeah.
very
on
confident.
Friday.
and let's be
I was
honest.
quite confident, to be fair.
And let's be honest, everything I said was true. Burnley are not all that. They are a long ball team, and they've got very little in it. The problem was they scored a very good counter from one of our corners.
Well, it's because Solomon slipped, didn't he? Solomon slipped.
Irrelevant of that. What did I say about the final last year? Meslier doesn't dive when he should, and he tries to stick his fucking leg out.
Yeah.
He did it again.
Yeah. It was identical.
And it pisses me off
Yeah, it was.
because it's such a routine, basic save. Even if he doesn't get there, dive. Don't stick your fucking leg out. What is he doing?
Bogle, could he do better? I saw
I'll
a
tell
lot
you
of
what he
fans
wasn't
going
doing.
in at him on
Yeah.
the Twitter feed.
Yeah, I mean, Bogle probably could have. But I think one of the other problems you've got is Jaden Anthony was on the other side. And you're sort of like, it's that moment of, you've got the option. If you commit too much, he's just going to slot it across.
Yeah.
So there's that issue. It's a well taken goal. He's done well. Can't take it away from him. They did the usual
That was bad by Solomon, though. Again, after we bigged him up last week and all.
He did well for the rest of the game, though. He slipped.
To be fair, player slip, and to be fair, it was quite high up the pitch as well, so there was plenty of chance for other players to come back.
Very exposed. They did it 2 or 3 times because that's all they've got. They parked the bus, which seems to be our downfall. Just park the bus. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
The referee, I do not know what that clown was doing. Because before we get on to the main one, I want to talk about some of the things. He seemed to make the main, like the general running of the game. He was okay. He wasn't too bad. He knew when to sort of like, that was a bad foul, here's a card, or general sort of misdemeanors.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like critical decisions, the guy was a clown. He had no fucking clue.
Did he have no clue, or did he just not have the balls to make the actual big decision?
No clue. So there was a free kick, well, a foul, on an indirect, about 20 yards out, direct free kick it would have been, 20 yards out. He allows advantage. At this point, there is no advantage. Burnley have done what they do, pack everybody into a line at the box, and there's no way through. So there's no advantage. You're not gaining anything from it because there's no play. So he plays on. And sure enough, within 3 touches of the ball's gone fucked off down to our end. So, bad decision. Even the commentator went, why has he played advantage? There's no advantage.
Okay.
Later on, in the second half, was it Gruev is hacked down and the ball falls. Radrazani at this point literally has open field to run into. The referee pulls it back for a free kick. Why? We've got an advantage. We are literally running through on goal and he pulls it back. And these are the kind of decisions he couldn't get right. The ones where you should be making the critical decision. Is this going to impact the game? Is this going to be effective? Yeah. No, you can't do it. The main one, how the hell he didn't give a penalty is beyond me. Whether the guy touched the ball, which he didn't. We've seen it on enough camera angles now, he doesn't touch the ball. If you are going through the back of somebody, between their legs, it is a foul.
Your penalty shout. I mean, it wasn't so much of a penalty shout as screaming from the top of the mountains, this is a penalty. I don't know how much more clear cut you need to get before you get a pen, because that, for me, it's from behind for starts. So
you don't go through the back of a player.
Whether you get the ball or not is irrelevant. You are not to tackle from behind.
And he went straight through the back of him.
And he did get his legs first anyway. So even if he didn't get his legs first, he got the ball first, it's still a free kick. And it's in the box.
Even if he gets all ball. If you go through the player's legs,
makes
when
no
you
difference.
tackle from behind, you've got to be so good. You've got to like basically flick your foot
from
round the side and get the ball and quickly move your leg back. You've only got the time to flick
one
it.
Of the worst decisions.
So when he gave a corner, I was absolutely flabbergasted. Then he runs over to the linesman, and I thought, oh, the linesman's going to do the right thing here and say, no, you've got that wrong. No. Oh, yeah, he ran over to him, give him a yellow card. Just pure incompetence. Absolute incompetence.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it until, and then you mentioned it, and I thought, maybe it's just, because he supports Leeds, maybe it's just, and I watched the highlights. I'm like, I can't believe that wasn't given as a penalty. I'm shocked.
And I suppose another big moment, there was a big chance for Joseph in the game as well.
Oh, Jesus Christ, early on. He's only young, but bloody hell.
It was a bad miss, wasn't it? Putting it wide.
Can we just point out?
He did well to take the ball and
he did everything right apart from the finish.
Everything. Then he sort of lost his head a little bit when he got close to the goal, I think.
Yeah.
And he leant back so far.
Did you see Trafford's save from his shot just inside the box?
I mean, Trafford looked superb.
3.
Yeah.
Absolute blinding saves.
Yeah. He's looking like a real keeper this season, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's always been decent, but he's looking like
he's looking far better now.
He's put all them bits together, and now he's looking like a real force in that. So future's exciting for England, I'd say, if he's going to carry on like that.
I hope so.
Because
I mean, I won't take away from Trafford's performance, and their players did a good job. They did what they're supposed to do. But fuck me, if my team played like that week in, week out, I'd fucking kill myself. Because that is the most boring football I've ever fucking seen.
It's a football podcast, let's keep it light.
But seriously, when you've got 29% possession, what are you doing?
Not possessing the football.
But it's just dull. 69% pass accuracy.
69?
Yeah.
That's pretty low.
If your team's playing that kind of football, do you really want to watch it?
No.
Ours wasn't far off at points today.
I mean, I do feel for Burnley fans, because if that's the shit that Scott Parker's doing for him, I want him out. It was an abysmal game.
You say that, but they beat you and they're 4th and you're 9th. So
yeah, but they won't be for long. The way they're playing,
that annoyed.
The way they're playing, they won't stay up there. The one thing that we have not been for the last couple of years is critical in front of goal. We have not had a striker who's been able to put it in the net critically. You look at our shots to goal, like we just don't score, and that's been the case for many years.
We had 9 shots from inside the area.
Unfortunately, I don't know any Burnley fans. So if there are any Burnley fans out there listening, let us know. Are you happy with your team at the moment?
I know a Burnley fan.
Do you?
Yeah, I could ask her and see how she feels about it.
Yeah.
Because I think, they drew Blackburn, and they were fucking lucky to draw Blackburn.
It's probably because Blackburn had a stupid sending off.
Agreed. They lost to Sunderland. They beat Cardiff. Everyone beats Cardiff. Even Derby beat Cardiff. And they beat Luton.
At the bottom, aren't they?
Yeah.
They got 1 point this season.
They're not that good. And again,
in Cardiff.
No,
I was going to say they're absolutely shocking. Not that good. Jesus Christ!
But
1 point in 5 games.
I'm on about Burnley. They're just. I wouldn't be happy.
But they're getting results though.
They're not. I've just pointed out they're not.
Yeah, but they're 4th. This is what I'm saying. England was shocking under Southgate, but they got results.
Yeah.
And we weren't happy when they were winning.
Happy.
Yeah, this is why we need to talk to the Burnley fan. Find out whether or not
they're happy.
Would you accept these performances if it meant you stayed in the playoffs?
Well, no, because when Cloud Puel was manager of Southampton, the football was boring. But we had a successful season, It was a top-half finish, and we got to a League Cup final, and the guy got sacked. Because it was boring football, and the fans revolted against it, and the results didn't matter.
David Moyes.
Yeah, West Ham fans weren't happy.
They weren't happy, and they won in Europe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They
Nobody wants to watch
trophy.
Shit football. It's an entertainment.
But Spurs have fans.
That was
so clearly some
miserable.
people do want to watch shite football. So I would question that. They even watch it in a brand new toilet bowl. Must be lovely. So, moving swiftly on.
I just want to say one thing though. The person who cleans Tottenham's trophy cabinet has a really easy time. There's nothing to move in and out of it.
He just hoovers the cobwebs out every now and then.
That's about
it. So it's it's pretty good. Anyway, so we'll go to the Premier League. Game number 1. Oh dear me. Oh dear me.
Someone else is going to have a moan.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling this is going to go worse than yours did. Game number 1, Premier League this weekend. Southampton 0, red card. Man United 3, no red cards. Man of the match, Amad Diallo. Thoughts, feelings, impressions. How did you feel when you got a penalty, which was 100% a penalty, and then missed it?
So, talking about the game, so very quickly, Man United started off on top for like the first minute or so. We got into the game, played really well. There's a guy that I said that looks decent, so you were watching the game. Tyler Diblin, I told him to watch out. Thoughts on him?
I think for the first 30-odd minutes, I don't think any of your players did a lot wrong.
They didn't.
And they all looked pretty decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, looked good.
And then
he won
the penalty, and then up stepped Cameron Archer, who I'm quite happy to start, but the guys played it was either 170 and 170 games of football, and he's never taken a penalty before.
I believe he's taken 2, hasn't he now?
What?
He's taken 2.
No, it was his first ever penalty.
So
it was his first ever penalty. Ben Diaz never took a penalty.
Man United as well. Jesus,
I know.
That's the pressure.
You know, Diaz not missed a penalty, so it makes no sense. I know Russell Martin's taken the blame for that, and absolutely, so he gets the blame for it.
Do you not remember the game that Arsenal had, though, a couple of years ago? Well, last season, actually, because we just signed Havertz and he'd gone 10, 12 games without scoring.
Yeah.
So they gave him the penalty. Do you think it was something similar where they thought, well, we'll give Cameron Archer an easy one just to get him off the mark, get him going, make him feel better, and it backfired?
All I'm going to say is...
Absolutely. They said that he'd been practicing in training. He was doing all right in training. They blame the VAR situation and stuff like that, but it took a while to decide if it was a penalty.
A pen's a pen. Regardless of how long you wait.
The way he took that penalty... I knew it was the first time he'd ever kicked a ball, never mind took a penalty.
Very nervous.
I looked at it from behind the goal and I'm like, his whole body position gave away where he was putting it.
Very, very nervous.
Well, yeah, he was dead centre. He ran straight, so he's definitely going to the keeper's right. And then he side foot...
No, it was awful.
That was...
So... Yeah. I'm not happy with that. But there's another guy on the pitch that should make a decision in them situations as well. And the importance, captain, who I say is League One standard. Now, it's his fault for the first goal because he's poor defending from a corner. We clear it, you get out the box. What's the one thing you shout when you're defending Sunday? Get out, get out. The keeper should be yelling, get out, get out. And the captain should be saying, get out, get out. And I don't know whether he was, and he just wasn't moving because they pinged the ball back in. He's played everyone on 1-0, and that's like only a few minutes after missing a penalty, and it changed the game.
Literally 2, according to the score. 2 minutes after you missed a penalty, they scored the first.
So, and then obviously Rashford.
I mean, that's draining as it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
To concede in 2 minutes after you've missed a penalty is draining.
Yeah.
And then to concede like another 3 or 4 minutes after that as well, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's gotta hurt, that hasn't it?
Yeah. Then another corner, cleared it out. I don't think players don't close down Rashford enough. I don't think there's anything that Ramsdale could do any different. Ramsdale kept us in the game. On all accounts, he made some good saves.
Didn't have a bad game, to be fair. He made a lot of good saves. He was just under a torrent of attack.
In the second half, Jack Stevens makes a challenge that he doesn't have to make in the Man United half. Horrendous.
Awful.
But there's one positive. Can't play the next game because Russell Martin obviously likes him. I like the fact that he made changes and the team selection that he did looked positive.
Well, they look good for the first half an hour. We've said that a couple of times. They look really good.
They look good. So he has learned, I've said Adam Armstrong championship at best. And unfortunately, and the last goal was just, we were down to 10 men, so...
And it was like 6 minutes after the 90th or something, wasn't it? So.
But I didn't expect to beat Man United. We haven't won at home against Man United for 20 years, and I'm guessing it's going to be at least 22 years now, because... At this rate, we're not going to be in the Premier League next season, so it's not going to be 21 years, is it?
Already looking at the Championship there, folks. We've got a Southampton fan that is already looking to swap with Leeds. I say swap with Leeds, they are 8th.
They were 9th a minute ago. How did they go up a plate?
You
just said 9th a minute ago.
I'm going to have to double check now, because I think I've got that wrong. Leeds are 9th. I apologise, that was my mistake.
The next 2 games are massive for Southampton now. We play Ipswich next and then Bournemouth, so we've got to have 6.
Play Everton next in the Cup,
yes.
Which, let's be honest, should be giving you a boost, because Everton, let's move swiftly on to Everton just for a second. They are the kings of going 2 up, and they're getting smashed back into their little box because they did it again. And I don't mean to laugh, and I apologise to all the Everton fans out there that are normal people like Craig. So I apologise to Craig. Well,
they ruined my stat because when they were 2 up, it was like Southampton were the only team on 0 points all the way down to like Hitchin Town, I think it is, in like the Northern Premier Central Division.
Oh, you really did go digging.
I went to see who else had lost, but then Everton went and lost, so it was like there were 2 teams left.
On that note, I just want to say, at 2-0 up, Jack Harrison put Ollie Watkins through for their.
Have you just
first
looked
goal.
at the highlights again?
No, I remembered he was player 11. I was sure it was Harrison, so I just checked and it was. So, Harrison, all is forgiven. You are now welcome back at Leeds.
Well, I would like to say that you're above Everton on goal difference.
Well, I know.
Albeit you've both got no points. So you're both fighting away for bottom spot there, but Everton they just want it that little bit more.
Yeah.
So Everton have played 4, lost 4, minus 9.
Let's me introduce the next one. So last week's stat was Liverpool were the only team not to concede a goal yet. That has now been broken.
That changed in emphatic fashion at Anfield with Mr. Hudson-Odoi.
Yes.
Did you see their
minute.
keeper nearly dropped the ball into his own net?
Who, Turner?
Yeah. Yes. I saw that and I was like, Jesus.
But I will say, and as everyone that listens to this podcast will know, we are absolutely thrilled that Nottingham Forest beat Liverpool.
Was that point 1? 5 positives from Saturday's football. That was point 1, 3 and 5.
Well,
So it was all the odds.
5. Because it was odd that they beat them. City, again, 2-1. Haaland scored 2. Beat Brentford 2-1, so City stay at the top. What a shock. Aston Villa, as we were partway through talking about before we got excited about the Liverpool loss. Villa 3, Everton 2. It was McNeil in the 16th, Calvert-Lewin in the 27th, and then the joy of the 36th and 58th minute with Watkins. And did you see that goal by Joe?
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
That was like watching football in the 90s again. They're actually willing to shoot from 30 yards just to see what happens. And what a rocket that was.
It was a beautiful goal. And
what a finish. Loved watching that.
And all his goals this season has won Villa the points, I think it is, as well.
Yes.
It's goals. I mean, I didn't really know a lot about that striker, but he's been
very poor up till now, I'll be honest. And then this season he's come out and all of a sudden he's a bit like Havertz, really. It's pretty shocking for the most part, and then he just sort of turns up at Arsenal and 10 games in starts playing like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Jovan's pretty much done the same last season. He was in and out, but when he was in, he wasn't really doing a lot. And now all of a sudden he's scoring goals from 30 yards and winning them games week in, week out.
And I'm pleased Watkins has got his scoring boots back on as well.
I was very, 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 very pleased to see Chelsea struggle so much to go past what is, let's face it, a fairly poor Bournemouth side.
I think that's
Evan Nielsen
could
missed
be
a
harsh.
penalty. I don't think they're great, Bournemouth. I don't think they're a very good side. They're in 11th. Played 4 or 5 points. That's about where they should be, really. About 11th, 12th. Somewhere around there. I don't think they're brilliant. Chelsea are meant to be these world beaters that are wanting Champions League football. You shouldn't be scraping past Bournemouth in the 86th minute. This should be far more convincing than that. Fulham 1, West Ham 1. I would say, for me personally, I'd say that's probably about right.
Yeah.
I
Both ambitious teams trying to push for Europe.
West Ham have slightly dropped from when they won the European competition, and Fulham have definitely improved this season to what they were before. So I'd say it was about even. I would probably expect a draw from that.
Yeah, it's a kind of one of them games. If I was doing an accumulator, I'd have left it alone because I wouldn't know which way it was going.
But if somebody gunned to your head, you would probably go, I'd have to say it's a draw, because
I don't know.
Either win would probably just be either amazing skill or a bit of luck. Yeah. I'm just going to go for draw.
I think gun to my head, I probably would have gone West Ham before the game, but
would you
that
really?
would have been good.
I'd have probably gone draw, personally. Palace 2, Leicester 2. If I'm honest, I'd have probably gone for a Palace win on that one.
I would have done.
Not by a lot. I'd have probably thought 1-0, 2-1. I don't think it would have been a big gulf, but...
I mean, the worrying thing for me is obviously teams like that, they're picking up points and we're not, because they are.
I mean, they're
rivals.
Leicester on 2, Palace on 2, Ipswich on 2. I might not sound like a lot, But they're outside the relegation zone.
Because
they're picking up these draws.
Because it was Brighton 0, Ipswich 0, and it's like, that was a shock result.
That was very much a shock result. Anyone would have put their house on Brighton beating Ipswich.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I would. Happily. And yeah, 0-0 is a great result for Ipswich. Again, though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellow cards in that game as well. What the hell's happening at the minute?
Didn't we ask for refs to... We've kind of said we want them to put the foot down a bit.
Well,
so
they're certainly doing it.
All I can say is, fair enough.
6 in the Fulham West Ham game. Not nearly enough in the Liverpool game. Liverpool only got 4. So there's 8 in that game because they got 4 each. So yeah, it's been a fair few yellows. But yeah, so go on, Nottingham Forest. Well done. And then we got games today. We've currently got Wolves and Newcastle, which is playing at the minute. So we're only in the 59th minute.
Hour gone, 1-0 Wolves.
We'll leave that for a little while, although Wolves are currently winning 1-0, but anything could happen. At the rate it's going, it looks like it should be 3-0 Wolves at the end of it. But we shall see. So the only other game today was a game that had 7 first half yellow cards and 1 in the second half.
Yeah.
Which was Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1. Now, I would like to point out that I said to both of you guys, I would have our top 3 as Saka, Odegaard and Rice right now. Yes, Saliba is fantastic, but I would still have them 3 as our best 3 players. 2 of them are missing, and I still didn't think Tottenham would beat us. And I was right.
Yeah.
So,
albeit some cracking stops by Raya.
I was about to say, I haven't seen this, but on FootMob, it's saying that Raya was man of the match.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't disagree with that.
Has he put on another class performance?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was superb.
Without a doubt. He made some great saves.
So that's
some great saves.
4 games
now? Four in a row now
Solid
where he's just been superb. And we've conceded 1 goal, which was not his fault.
Oh, God. I was going to say, the only thing...
I'm not even going to sit here and say I'd love to blame him because he's been the keeper that we wanted him to be.
Yeah.
I only slated him last season because he wasn't good enough. Whereas this season, he's been more than good enough. He's far, far outweighed any expectations I would have had.
I think the only thing that I'd want from him in that game is where Solanke fouled him because it was... because I don't think he barely touched him. I think Solanke had every right to go for that ball. His arms were down.
Yeah.
He was looking at the ball. He didn't even jump into him at all, really.
He just jumped up and his momentum took him.
Yeah.
But he didn't look at the keeper before he jumped. He was just staring at the ball.
Yeah.
Jumped up. Momentum took him into Raya, and Raya was very, very, very weak on that. But
that's the overprotection of goalkeepers.
Oh, definitely. They are way too overprotected. But I'm okay with it because it means they didn't score. And I think the ball did probably cross the line afterwards.
Yeah.
Although even then, Raya dropped the ball and he still managed to claw it out the back of the net before it hit the floor.
Yeah.
So his reactions there were really good.
That was about the only thing where I thought to myself, ooh, he should be a bit stronger there. But all in all, good performance. Should be happy with him.
Another cracking game by Raya. A shocking performance by the referee.
I thought... I don't rate Trossard in that game either. I think he made some bad passes.
He genuinely seems to be better as a sub.
Yeah, he just wasn't...
I know he doesn't want to be a sub. He doesn't want to come off the bench. But that's where he plays his best football. And there's not a lot you can do about it.
There's no point in being on the pitch.
If you're not going to play at the start, the way you play when you come off the bench, you're not going to get the starts. Now, I messaged you after 15 minutes saying this ref is giving Tottenham everything. Now, the second I click send, he then booked Tottenham every time they touched the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Just be fair. Like, I'm not expecting you to go against Spurs all the time, although it's funny to watch.
Yeah.
I still don't expect it, and it still ruins the game. The bookings in that game, I would say probably 4 of them were legit.
I think he just
the
ruined...
should have been booked. Timber, I don't think should have been booked. We went through this earlier. William Saliba was a yellow card all day long.
Yeah.
Vicario, probably should have been booked for, but even that was touch and go because it was just,
Bentancur definitely wasn't a booking.
oh, not even close.
It
Not
was
even close
just
to being a booking.
it was a foul, but it was
It was a free
one
kick.
of but that was about it.
When he brought the yellow out, I thought, what are you doing?
He's literally like, if it was a foul, he booked him. It was
mental, and we literally bigged up Joe Gillett the other week, saying that Australian dude, best ref we've got in the Premier League, and then he's come out like, hold my beer. He's come out today.
Foster's good call.
I can be just as shite as your English guys. Watch me.
That's what it was. He went to the Premier League and they were like, you do realise you've got to drop your standard.
You're ref of the month.
Yeah.
I'm not having that.
Yeah.
Boys at home will all bully me for that. I'm not having that. Well, he's back at the bottom of the pile because today was a shocker. But Arsenal still won. Yet again, Spurs undone by a set piece. You would think that Big Ange and his Ange ball would learn at some point. You're getting done at set pieces, mate. Practice that bit. Because clearly you're not. Because Spurs have learnt nothing in the last 12 months. Do you know that's the first time since, I think, the 60s that Arsenal have won 3 in a row at White Hart Lane? Not even Wenger won 3 in a row at White Hart Lane. And Henry, by the way, never lost against Tottenham Hotspur.
I don't think they call it White Hart Lane now.
No,
even though it's on White Hart Lane and they built it.
Well, half of it's on White Hart Lane, isn't it? And the other half sort of edged over a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they called it a new stadium. It just looks like a toilet seat anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why not sponsor yourself?
They might as well have just kept it as White Hart Lane. And
yeah, why not?
You've upgraded it.
Hybrid changed because we moved a full 100 yards. As you get off the Met, it's 100 yards to the right. It's just over the little canal thing, over the bridge. It's if you stand at the Met Stadium in the right place, you can see both stadiums.
Yeah,
they're that close. But yeah, I mean, we changed our name because obviously we're sponsored by the Emirates, and it's depressing. But there you go. And Tottenham just haven't got a sponsor. And you would think with Daniel Levy being so financially motivated, that stadium naming would be one of the first things he would go for because it's such a massive income for a team to have. I mean, ours was the Emirates because they helped build it. They basically paid to have the stadium built, didn't they? And that's why we had the Emirates named.
Perhaps sponsors want winners.
They probably do, to be fair. Although Tottenham haven't been relegated for God knows how long. I don't know how that's been a thing, by the way. But I mean, I'm shocked. Like, Everton did what Villa did before they got relegated, by the way. Because Villa was circling the drain for years before they actually went down.
Well, there's only 8 teams that have never been relegated from Premier League.
There is. I heard that stat the other day, actually, somewhere. There's 8 teams that have gone up and never been relegated.
Yeah.
And the guy on, I think it was the radio, when he heard it, the guy on the radio was shocked to hear that Brighton was one of them.
Brighton and Brentford, isn't it?
Because they got promoted, but they've not been relegated since they got promoted. Arsenal have never been relegated from it. United, Liverpool,
Tottenham.
Everton.
Right.
God knows how Everton.
Everton and Arsenal's stat isn't just Premier League, though. They're the
Ours
only
goes back
teams to attain top tier and never be relegated from that tier.
Yeah.
And Tottenham don't like us because we actually didn't deserve to get top tier when we did. Because I think we finished 5th that year. But our chairman had more pull than theirs. So we got promoted over them even though they finished above us in the league below.
Yeah.
I think that's what started a lot of it. And of course then we moved to North London. They didn't like that either.
Great.
But tough. Yeah, so Arsenal won. Yay, I'm happy. Southampton got a proper slap, so Jim's not
I wouldn't
so
even
happy.
say it's a proper slap. It was just
It's
mistakes.
It's 3-0.
It was mistakes, though. It's not like we're playing badly, but we'll get relegated doing that.
Okay, they didn't get a proper slap, but they did get a kick in the dick.
I'll go with that.
They're 19th.
I'm not saying it was a slap, but it was definitely a brutal beating.
It was definitely a kick in the knackers. So yeah, and then obviously today, as we mentioned, West Brom beat Portsmouth 3-0. So, my lovely, lovely people, that will do for part 1. And we shall go to a break, and we shall be back with you, lovely people, very, very soon. chatting. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what we normally do now when we go into part 2, which is we're going to play our game, Who Am I? And what I've done is I've got 3 footballers. Big surprise there. Football podcast are all footballers. And I'll go through 3 parts for each player. And Tin Ribs and JimJam have to guess the player. If they get it in the first part, 5 points. Got it right this week. Get it right in the second part, it's 3. And if they get it right in the third part, it's 1. And if they don't get it right in the third part, don't deserve any points. Are we good to go on to player number 1, gentlemen?
Yeah, why not?
We are ready. We are poised and ready. Week 8, player 1, part 1. I was born 20th of May, 1981. I'm 43. I was born in Mossole, Spain. I started my youth career with Real Madrid in 1990, and I was there till 1998. I am 6'1". Who am I? That's part 1. We always try and make it difficult, so because we don't want them getting 5 points, basically. So while they're having to think, for everyone else that's listening, I was born the 20th of May, 1981. I am 43. I was born in Mossole, wherever it is, in Spain. I started my youth career with Real Madrid in 1990, and I was in their youth setup until 1998. I'm 6'1". Who am I? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Guesses, please. We have a guess there, and we don't have a guess there. Definitely nil point for Tin Ribs at the moment.
I think it's nil point for me as well, to be fair.
Part 2. I started my senior career at Real Madrid in 1999. I won 5 La Liga titles, 4 Supercopa del España, 2 Copa del Rey, 3 Champions Leagues, 2 Super Cups, 2 Intercontinental Cups, 1 World Cup. I joined Porto in 2015 after 25 years with Real Madrid, winning the league and cup for Porto. Who am I? While they're thinking about it, I started my senior career at Madrid in 1999. I won 5 La Liga titles.
3 points inbound for both of us.
I won 4 Copa del España, 2 Copa del Reys, 3 Champions League, 2 Super Cups, 2 Intercontinental Cups, 1 World Cup. I joined Porto in 2015 after 25 years with Real Madrid, winning the league and cup double. So you've both gone for the same player. Okay, so for the guys that may not have it at home, the last one was going to be I am a goalkeeper. And I have 177 appearances in the Champions League, which is the most for any goalkeeper. And I am the youngest goalkeeper to win the Champions League at 19 years and 4 days. I am indeed, they both got 3 points because they both got it in part 2. I am indeed Iker Casillas.
I knew you were going to get it straight away.
Literally, we were just talking about it.
I thought because you'd mentioned him just before, I thought he's going to get this.
You know what, though?
Instantly now.
My brain went straight to Gabby.
I would like to say that your first guess of Cesc Fabregas, he was
Barcelona
boy.
Yeah.
Well, I thought because you said he
Hmm.
started at Real Madrid, I
He's
was
also
like,
younger than me, by the way.
I thought, oh, maybe he didn't play for Real Madrid and he went to a rival, and you were trying to shake me off. So I thought I'll go for somebody that didn't.
That's because I put a twist on it.
Yeah, because you put twists on it. I was like, he's going for a twist.
The twist is working
As
now.
soon as he started saying what he'd won and everything, I was like, I fucking know this.
To be fair, it could have been a couple of them because there's a few that were there for years.
Porto was the biggest.
I think it was the I was there 25 years. That sort of really nailed it.
No,
but
it was Porto.
I'm glad that you didn't get 5 points anyway. So
I'm not.
You're welcome.
I'm not convinced. I'm not so sure the third part helped me any more than Porto.
I thought like I won the Champions League at 19 years and 4 days would have done it, especially
The
as a goalkeeper.
second he said that.
No, that wouldn't have helped me.
Anyway, week 8, player 2, part 1. Are we ready?
We are ready.
I was born the 17th of August 1993 in Osasco, Brazil. I am 31. I'm 6'2". I was a part of the youth setup at Sao Paulo 2008 to 2009. I was part of the youth setup at Benfica 2009 to 2011. I started my senior career at Ribeirão 2011 to 2012. and I then moved on to Benfica 2015 to 2017. Who am I? For them that are listening while they're having a think, I was born 17th of August 1993 in Osasco, Brazil, making me 31. I'm 6'2". I started my youth career at Sao Paulo 2008 to 9. I then moved to Benfica as a youth player 2009 to 2011. I started my senior career at Ribeirão 2011 to 2012. And I moved on for my senior career 2015 to 2017 at Benfica. Who am I? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Guesses, please.
None.
Definitely a nil point for JimJam because we have no guess. Tin Ribs had a guess, but I'm not going to say who it was. Part 2. I have 25 appearances for Brazil, and I have 22 domestic honours total. I go by one name only. Who am I? So, for those that are listening, I have 25 Brazil appearances. I have 22 domestic honours total. Brazil, 22 domestic honours. Domestic honours. I go by one name only. Who am I? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nil point for JimJam still. And another guess, a different guess for Tin Ribs, but I'm not going to tell you who it was. Part 3, this should hit home now. Remember all your clues before. I am a goalkeeper. Currently, 2017 to present, I am at Manchester City. I have 3 golden gloves. Who am I? I'm fairly certain everybody in the world has got it right now. So we went from Gabriel to Casemiro to eventually getting the correct answer from both of them. 1 point each. My name is Edison.
I couldn't think of a 31-year-old Brazilian.
No, I was trying to rack my brain. It was like
1 point each. So we're currently on 4-4.
I think Benfica did me, and I was like,
I thought I'd throw that in because
I
I didn't, for a second, think he'd been there. So, yes, that was Edison for everybody listening. Part 3 definitely made that easier, though, surely.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't
Yeah,
sure about
that was
the
like-
last one.
yeah.
Goalkeeper at Man City. Thought that might give it away.
Mm.
Right.
I wasn't actually aware he played that many games for Brazil.
I was quite surprised, actually, when I saw it. Thought that was only a recent addition.
Because for
but
some
turns out
reason, the
not.
Brazilian managers seem to pick Alisson over him, and I just don't get it myself.
I mean,
Liverpool.
he's not a bad keeper.
I mean, Alisson's not terrible, is he? We just don't like Liverpool. Week 8, Player 3, Part 1. I was born 6th of August, 1983. I am 41 years old. I was born in Rotterdam, Netherlands. I am 6 foot tall. I started my youth career at Excelsior. I'm sure there's a joke there somewhere. 1988 to 1999. I then had a youth career at Feyenoord from 1999 onwards. So, while they're having a think, for the people listening, I was born the 6th of August 1983, making me 41. I was born in Rotterdam, Netherlands. I'm 6 foot tall. I started my youth career at Excelsior 1988 to 1999. And then from 1999, I took my youth career to Feyenoord. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answers on a postcard. We have nil point for Tin Ribs, and we have a guess for JimJam. So, have you got it at home yet? Can you tell what it is yet? Part 2. I started my senior career at Feyenoord 2001 to 2004, making 61 appearances, scoring 14 goals. I ended my senior career at Feyenoord 2018 to 2019, making 37 appearances, scoring 21 goals. So just to clarify, he started his senior career at Feyenoord 2001 to 2004, but then went back in 2018 to end his career 2018 to 2019, making 37 appearances, scoring 21 goals. I played 102 times for Holland, or Netherlands, scoring 50 goals from 2005 to 2017. In 2020, I started managing. Currently, I manage Heerenveen. Sorry, I butchered that to begin with. Right, while they have some thought time, I will go through that again. just to clear it up a little bit because I was a bit all over the place. I started my senior career at Feyenoord in 2001 to 2004, 61 games, 14 goals. I then went back to Feyenoord to end my senior career 2018 to 2019, 37 games, 21 goals. I played 102 times for the Netherlands, scoring 50 goals between 2005 and 2017. In 2020, I started managing. I'm currently managing at Heerenveen. Who am I? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answers on a postcard. We have an answer from JimJam. And we have an answer from Tin Ribs. I don't want to give it away. I'm fairly certain he's the assistant manager at Man United. Part 3.
That's why I didn't go for that striker.
Part 3. I am a striker. And between 2004 and 2012, I was at Arsenal, making 194 appearances, scoring 96 goals. 2012 to 2015, I was at Man United, making 86 appearances, scoring 48 goals.
He's going to be gutted now.
Who am I? Just for them that are listening, while they have some thought process, although probably not needed. I am a striker. I played for Arsenal between 2004 and 2012, playing 194 games, scoring 96 goals. 2012 to 2015, I was at Manchester United, making 86 appearances, scoring 48 goals. JimJam has 5 points.
My second guess was Dirk Kuyt.
Tin Ribs.
My first one was Van Persie.
I actually thought you'd written Dick then, and I couldn't read the surname.
No, Dirk.
Thought, who the hell is that? I don't
Dirk
even want to
Kuyt.
mention it. I didn't realise it said Dirk. Does that look like Dirk to you?
No.
It looks more like Dick
doesn't it?
now.
So yeah, we have 9 points, plays 5. Interesting week because JimJam was far
I was
behind.
like,
For
So we
some
have
reason,
9
I
points,
thought
so we've
Van
got
Persie
It's gonna
was
be
older than that.
55. And what did you get? 5.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, it's close.
back in it.
JimJam 55.
You've got over taking me that bad.
JimJam 55. Tin Ribs 57. It is close.
I thought.
Bearing in mind, on week 6, you were on 33 and you were on 46.
Yeah.
You've absolutely wiped the floor with him in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to have to pick some more Leeds players, aren't I, next week, just to help you out.
No, the reason I've got to make up the points that Tom let me down with
Tom.
that week.
Oh, I've got to make up the points that Jove and Craig let me down on.
To be fair, I think me and Craig got the same points, so I don't think you actually went behind that one.
You got 10 points the week Tom was here, and you got 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you did take a bit of a hammer in that
And
week.
we've changed the rules a bit since as well to make it easier to get everybody to get points.
So, there we go. Yes, so, just a quick rundown for those that are interested. We had Iker Casillas. We had Ever.
Edison.
I'm thinking of
Edison.
that player that missed a penalty earlier. We had Edison for Man City, and Robin Van Persie was the third player, the striker, that was born.
You know what?
In
1
Holland.
week, I want to give him 3 and see how long he takes to go.
I'll get 3 points. I know full well I get 3 points, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, we're doing
Now, I'm not
like
gonna
3
lie,
players like
we've-
Thierry Henry, Ian Wright, and stuff. And
It would be so
and
bad if I
piss him
still
off.
got fucking 3 points like one.
Yeah. I'd
have to make one.
We make it so
Absolutely
obscure.
Obvious.
It would be like David Rocastle, Thierry Henry, Ian Wright, and I'd be like,
Literally go the most obscure
Where's
facts
Ferdinand?
about him.
yeah, you probably would as well.
Yeah, his middle name is Jeff.
I would like to point out that in the process of playing Who Am I, it's gone from Wolves 1, Newcastle 0 to Wolves 1, Newcastle 2.
It has.
Who scored?
A player from Newcastle.
You haven't been none of us
It
have
went
been
into a
paying
top
any
corner. I
attention.
did see the second
Shaw
goal.
and Barnes.
Barnes was a
Shaw
good goal, bad
and
look. From what I
Barnes.
briefly saw, it looked a good goal from Barnes.
Shaw was assisted by Guimaraes and Barnes was assisted by Joseph Willock. Well, there we go. That was a big
This
change.
is
I
this
didn't
it?
play-
This is it.
This is the Barnes goal.
Told you.
What
Good
a
goal.
finish.
Yeah.
Jesus, that was a great shot.
That was the one I saw.
Outside the area, just hitting the banana. Outside the area, right-footed shot. Killed
lovely.
Just inside the top.
Impossible for the keeper.
Yeah, keeper got no chance. So yeah, that changed drastically. I wasn't paying any attention to
No, you were reading clues when that one went in, so that's why I never even said anything, because I thought I can't interrupt the clues. I'll just enjoy the goal.
You need to catch tin ribs, so he was like, points are far more important than goals. So yeah, that was a big change actually. 2-1 to Newcastle now. So yeah, fair play to Eddie Howe. Should be managing England. Get a grip. So how are we feeling, gentlemen? Now that the international break is finished and we're back on real football. I know you've had a bit of a disappointing weekend, but it's still real football.
It's all right. Just builds into next week.
How much have you watched this weekend?
So I watched the Southampton game, the Arsenal game. So only 2 games this weekend.
You've only watched 2.
Yeah, I've been busy.
We've
really.
had the Wolves Newcastle one in the background while we're recording, but I wouldn't say we've watched it. Obviously, because I didn't know Newcastle scored 2 goals, so I'm clearly not watching it.
And then I've just been watching highlights of other games.
Yeah, I definitely watched the highlights of the Leeds game, and it definitely should have been a penalty. Sorry, I can't get over how it wasn't. It literally went through the back of him, and it was kind of shocking. It was a bit like the Rice sending off a couple of weeks ago. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it definitely put a sour sort of spin on me and football for the weekend.
Oh, my wife says the annoying thing. It's like, why'd you even get bothered by it? It's not like you're playing for them. And that really pisses me off even more. And I think that's why she does it.
It's definitely why she does it. But I would like to say, as far as the Premier League is concerned, we're now 4 games in. And we're basically where the league is going to finish. City first, Arsenal second, Newcastle third, and Liverpool fourth. With Chelsea and Man United languishing down below. And I can see that basically the league finishing that way.
I hope not.
Well, obviously you hope not. You're in 19th. But I can't see how you're going to get out of that.
I don't. The gap between the Championship and the Premier League looks...
We say it looks
so much bigger.
But,
I know we said it last year.
Leicester and Ipswich at the moment are surviving. Because they're both just outside the relegation. So whether you do it on goal difference or whether you do it by 20 points, surviving is surviving.
Yeah.
And right now they both look like they...
Like I said, the next 2 games are massive. You know, if we beat Ipswich and beat Bournemouth...
That is your big game.
That changes everything.
Ipswich is your big game. You have to do something against Ipswich. You've no choice.
I mean, I'd love to get 9 points out of the next 3 games. That would be epic.
So have you got Ipswich, Bournemouth...
Arsenal.
Well, that's not going to happen, is it? Let's be honest. I mean, we haven't had our 2 star players today, and we've taught Tottenham a lesson that they're not going to learn from because they never do.
It'll be one of them. It'll be like a Ramsdale masterclass, and you can't score.
Even so, I just think
that'd be like your worst case scenario, wouldn't it? David Raya makes a mistake.
Yeah,
Ramsdale's man of the match.
Ramsdale's man of the match with like
and
14 shots on target and 14
stretches
saves.
Back.
Yeah, I would be rather irritated by that. But I can't see where your points are coming from. If you don't beat Ipswich, or at least draw with them.
The problem is Ipswich are going to be looking at that the same way. Ipswich are going to look at us going,
we've won this.
That's one of
we
our...
can beat Saints.
Because you need 40 points.
Yeah. You've
got to win at least 10 games. And I'm
Everton are lucky that there's only 38 games, or they're looking at 40 defeats the way things are going right now. Because they're absolutely shocking at the minute.
That's the thing. You need to win at least 10 games. And it's like, I don't know where 10 games are. Because the teams that went up with us are only
let's just say
4 games.
Let's just say, just for argument's sake, realistically, you beat Ipswich, you scrape past Bournemouth, and then you get beat narrowly by Arsenal.
That's a successful...
Your players are going to be buoyant then.
They're going to
be well on it, and they're going to think, we can do this. So your next 2 games are massive.
They're huge.
Because if you win them both, even if you lose against Arsenal, as long as you don't get battered, it's like if you get beat 2-1 by Arsenal, we score in like the 80th minute or something, your players are going to think, well, we've got a chance here. We can really do this. Sink our teeth into it and let's get on with it. So...
And then you play the games,
2 weeks, isn't it?
And then you need to play the games where you play against
And Everton in the cup, you need to beat them.
Fulhams and West Hams and Palaces and stuff like that. Games that they'll look at us thinking, yeah, we should be beating the teams that are going to be towards the bottom of the league. But they're the ones that are more likely that we're going to beat. Yeah, can we beat Arsenal? Yeah, anybody can beat anybody any day. And when you look at it, it's bonus points.
It is possible. Listen, Mr. Quiet over there.
Yeah.
You can tell Leeds have lost, can't you? It's just once he's bitched about Leeds, he's just like, oh,
yeah. It's.
I'm going to sink.
I mean, you never would have thought Forest were going to beat Liverpool at Anfield.
Well, I don't know. Villa put 7 past them, so I mean, anything's possible. Even with the world's greatest ever living defender, they still conceded 7 against Villa when Villa were not the great team that they are at the moment. So anything is possible.
Yeah.
Would I have put my money on it? No.
No.
But I'm bloody happy that they have beat them because it puts Liverpool in their place a little bit. But yeah, your next 2 are massive. And like I say,
Macclesfield are on their FA Cup journey at the moment.
Well, Macclesfield, I would like to say, played South Shields.
And they're
South Shields are all right.
A division above, aren't they?
Yeah.
5-0.
And we beat them 5-0. And it was convincing as well. Very convincing. And all the Mac fans are absolutely buzzing at the minute. They're buoyant online. And you can understand why, because the way that Mac played against South Shields, I didn't go, but I listened to it on the radio, and we're all over them. Oh,
I mean, it is funny because I'm in the league group on Facebook and stuff, and Macclesfield are so hated in that group, and it's funny because nobody's happy because obviously they're top the league and doing well, so everybody's very quiet because. But as soon as Macclesfield will lose a game at some point this season,
of course it will,
and that group will explode.
Yeah, they'll all be. But
because last season they were all like, "Oh, HMS pissed the league's lost again," kind of thing.
Yeah, but Mac have never said that. Mac have never gone into the league going, "We're gonna annihilate this." Like Mac have always gone into the league going, "This is gonna be a struggle, and we're gonna have to sort something out here. We're gonna have to get knuckle down and get on with it."
It's just jealousy.
Of course it is. It's like us with City at the minute. I mean, the slight difference is that Mac haven't taken the piss financially and they're not in trouble. They've done everything right, and
what
they're
a
running
save!
a sustainable business.
My word!
I would like to
Pope
say that there
just made a great save.
There was a beautiful cross put in, and Wolves number 10, I believe it was. Is it Cunha?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely exquisite volley.
I was ready to say what a great goal. I was about to say what a great goal.
And Pope's save was absolutely superb. It was brilliant. Diving to his right hand side and didn't tip it, but pushed the ball away with his right hand. It was
the save was. I was ready to say what a goal.
The save was just as good as the effort, to be fair. So yeah, now Wolves are crying for a penalty, but I don't think it was.
Unfortunately, Lee Carsley's not at that game. He was at the North London derby, so he won't have seen that from.
He's going to be looking at the North London derby thinking, well, if that's how Spurs play, they're going to be thrilled with the England performances. Spurs are shocking.
Maddison screwed, isn't he?
I don't know what Maddison was playing at today, you know. He's got to be the most pathetic excuse for football. Now, I've always rated Maddison, but any time anyone went anywhere near him today, he hit the floor.
He's been shocking for since last season.
Since he joined Spurs.
No, when he first until he got injured, he was playing quite well for him.
Yeah.
But since then, terrible.
Yeah, you know what that is, don't you? It's the Spurs effect.
I don't know if any of the English players really stood out.
No, I would say none of them.
I wouldn't even say Saka played.
No, Saka wasn't great today. I mean. Was there any English players that stood out today? No. There really wasn't. Gabriel and Saliba were probably the best two on the pitch, bar David Raya. So you would have to go for our back three. Ben White didn't do anything wrong, to be fair to him. But then he's not in contention for England anyway, is he?
Not at the moment. Not until he has a conversation.
He didn't want to be. He said outright, "Don't call me. I'm not interested."
Yeah, he says non-contactable as well.
Yeah. He got in touch with Edu and said to Edu, tell Lee Carsley my phone's out of bounds. I'm not interested. I just don't want to do it. Now, he knows he's not going to be first choice right back, which for me is quite shocking because I think he's better at defending than Trent. And as much as Trent played a couple of world-class through balls, I think his crossing for the most part was shocking. And I think his passing for the most part was shocking. And his defending wasn't even called into question because the teams we played was so bad. So I personally think Ben White would be better, but he doesn't want to play. There's not a lot you can do. He's not interested in joining the England settle. He's not a football fan.
No.
So to him, that's like somebody coming up to you, Tin Ribs, and going, "We will pay you extra, but do you want to do some more work for us during the summer?" You'd be like, "No thanks." No.
Yeah, we try that all the time.
Do you want
to do some overtime?
Do you want to go away with your son for 2 weeks, or do you want to come and do some more work? Because Ben White sees it as work because he's not into football.
Yeah.
You've got to just respect his opinion.
As far as Ben White is concerned, for me, I'm not really interested in what he's got to do now, being an English player, because he's not going to be playing to break into the England side.
England,
so realistically, I'm not interested
I only care
in
about him because he plays for Arsenal.
Yeah.
So I'm happy if anything because he's not going to get injured.
Whereas any player for any club, if they're English, I'm interested to see what they do because I want them to do really well. So
Sterling and Jesus, I will say, were very poor when they came on. I mean, they only had 10 minutes. But they were very poor when they came on.
Jesus got man of the match on Sky Sports.
I know, that was a shocking
infographic error.
Absolutely shocking error by whoever put that graphic up because it was Gabriel Margulies that got man of the match, and it said Gabriel Jesus man of the match. He'd been on by that point. He'd been on about 6 minutes and had touched the ball once, of which was a long ass dribble, and he just ran into 3 players and lost.
No,
the ball.
He fouled a player.
Oh, he did foul a player as well. Yeah, so he fouled somebody and then gave the ball away and got man
after
of the match.
being praised for saying, "I'll go out on the right." No, Nweri, you go up top to protect
go
you.
Up front and just close down. Nweri, to be fair, did all right when he came on. Everything he needed to do, he made a couple of blocks. He did okay in the 6 minutes he had, or 5 minutes he had, or whatever it was. I'd like to see him play a bit more. Maybe not next week. That might be a bit too much pressure for him playing City. But
how do you feel about that game going into next week?
We've got Rice
before we get there.
So yeah, should be good.
You confident?
I don't think we'll get beat. I don't think we'll win it.
Are you saying Arteta's going for a draw again?
I think Arteta will part the bus.
It's going to be a dull game of football, is what you're saying.
Yeah. It'll just be like May or whatever it was. No, March last year.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely horrific. But it's going to be Arsenal defending for their lives. And if one thing today taught me anything, it was that Jurriën Timber is head and shoulders above any left back at Arsenal right now.
He played really well. I will give him
Timber
that.
For me was superb.
He was
Shouldn't
superb.
have been booked because it wasn't even a challenge. He put his studs on top of the ball.
He could have been in contention for man of the match if Saliba, Gabriel, and Raya weren't like superb.
Doesn't that tell you a lot? There's 4 people that you've mentioned for possible man of the match: Arsenal's left back, Arsenal's centre back, Arsenal's centre back, and Arsenal's goalkeeper. That tells you how poor the game was today, doesn't it? We miss when Odegaard is not there. We miss that creativity.
Yeah,
because that creative player.
It tells you Havertz is not the answer.
Havertz does not close down the way Odegaard does.
Finish.
Oh.
And Havertz does not have that Bergkamp style pass that Odegaard has got.
No.
So we lack when Odegaard is missing. Like Rice, I think we can cover for, because Havertz can come back, and between Partey, Havertz, and Jorginho, between the 3, they managed to do what Declan Rice does, and they managed to keep Tottenham at bay very well. But Odegaard is a big, big mess.
Yeah,
because we've got nobody that does what he does. So we missed that a lot. And it showed today. Really, really badly.
Miss Rice as well, especially when you think Partey
we needed Partey and Jorginho to do what Rice does.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about Declan Rice for me. But when them 2 are both in there defending, they can do what Rice does.
Yeah.
Nobody can step up and do what Odegaard does. We haven't got a player that can do that. So for me, not having Declan Rice makes us more defensive. not having Odegaard gives us very, very little up front. Because there's nobody there to spread the play and nobody closes down the way he does. He never stops. And he forces everyone else to do it with him because he's so energetic when he does it. And nobody else was doing that today. It was lackluster, but we didn't lose. So that's a bonus. So, yeah, I would like to say that Newcastle Wolves has just finished. 2-1 to Newcastle. And William Hill is back. Sorry, Tonali. Tonali's back in the Newcastle squad. And he's had his first minutes today.
He's already had minutes, I think.
As I thought today was his first.
No.
But yeah, William Hill's back.
Eddie Howe. Next England manager. Please, please, please. Not Carsley. Eddie Howe.
It's going to be Carsley, though, isn't it?
Eddie Howe.
Because he's played two very, 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 very poor sides and won two very, very, very poor games. Therefore, well, hey, Southgate replacement. You've beaten shit teams in a shit way. We'll have you. That seems to be the way it is. Right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a break because we're on 31 minutes, so we've done quite well this time. So we're going to go to break and we shall see you lovely, lovely people. Break in play to let you guys know if you head over to dubby.gg, it is energy drinks that they sell over there, and if you use our code, everything apart from the cans is
20% off. 20%. So that's 20% off. Enter the code Sunday, SUNDAY.
At checkout, as soon as you get to checkout, you've decided what you want. SUNDAY Sunday in the code, and you will save 20% on your entire order. Thank you very much. Hello and welcome back to part 3 of episode 47. Right, we're going to start part 3 the way we started it for the last few weeks, and we are going to go into accountability. Now this is where myself and JimJam are trying to get a bit healthier, get a bit fitter, find football a little bit easier on a Friday, and we're trying to lose a bit of weight. So, let's go through JimJam's, who started at 16 stone 9. We didn't measure the belly of the waist because you weren't actually here.
No.
So the first measurement we had was 45 inches and 42 around the waist. You're no longer 16 stone 9, you're 16 stone 2.
Yeah.
So you've lost half a stone. Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Good going. Your belly's now 45.5 and your waist is now 40.5. So you have lost a couple of inches off your waist.
Waist is good. I think the belly's just what I eat in the day. I think we do it
Possibly,
after I've eaten a full meal.
Measure as we get here to set up to record, which is probably not the best idea. But it's, you go with what you got. Plus, we're always measuring ourselves at the same time each week. Yeah. So it works on that scale. So I started at 16 stone 2, 45 around the belly and 44 around the waist. I'm now 15 stone 13, so I've broken the 16 stone barrier today. Yay, I'm less than 16 stone. Still a fat knacker, don't get me wrong, but I'm less than 16 stone. So my next target would have to be 15.7, wouldn't it? 15.5? It's got to be my next one. Although in saying that, 15 stone 13 is 101 kilograms and some change. So maybe just getting below 100 kilograms should be my next target. Maybe about 15.10, is that? 15.9, something like that. And then go from there. But we'll see how it goes anyway. This week's been quite helpful because we played golf on Thursday.
Yep.
Then we played golf on Friday and a charity day.
Yeah.
Then we played football Friday afternoon for the evening. So we had a lot of effort put in this week. And
I think my feet are only just about.
How are you feeling after it, Tin Ribs?
All right.
2 golfs and a football.
Half fucking dead.
And a night out as well.
And a night
out. Oh, we had a night out as well, didn't we? Yeah.
Not me this time.
So right,
we've got a new resident pisshead.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were definitely made. Yeah, it looks a bit rough when he showed today. And this is hours afterwards. I, however, spent 12 hours at work today, so I definitely wasn't drinking. But yeah, so I haven't lost as much weight as you, but I have broken the 16 stone barrier. So I suppose you've got to be happy with that, haven't you, really?
Yeah.
Goal number
Breaking
1
16 stone's really difficult.
Goal number 1 is attained. So we're going to go for 15.5, which is 15 stone 7. That's my next target.
What's the actual main goal? Ideal.
Where do I want to get to?
Yeah.
I would be satisfied but not happy with 12.5 stone.
Okay.
I'd be happy with 12. I mean, that's going to take some doing. That's losing nearly 4 stone. But I'd be happy with 12. I'd be satisfied with 12.5. I reckon I'd be happier at 13 than I am at 15, 13. But, we'll see.
I think deep down, I want to be somewhere around about 14 to 15 comfortably. Because I don't think I'm built anymore to be
just take
less.
that as 14.5. 14 to 15.
We're eating, you fluctuate anywhere between... Because at the moment, I can fluctuate anywhere between 16.8 at the moment and 16.1. And it just depends on
So what's that? So
what
you want probably a 38...
I probably want to lose 2 stone, really.
So you probably want a 38 waist, give or take.
Yeah, because that's where it's going to be.
That would be okay.
Belly would be nice to get to the 40. It'd be nice to be in the 30s, but again, it's...
Your goal is 14.5 stone. And we'll go for 38. And mine's more 34. 34 around the waist and about 12 stone. I reckon I'd be okay with that. So we have our goals. Very, very long-term goals, I might add. But we're not going to be getting there anytime soon. I still like my food.
Yeah. I think it's what I said to you midweek. There's a very fine balance between losing weight and maintaining your sanity, like your mental. Because I know how depressed I was. Angry yesterday.
Because you hadn't eaten much.
I was hungry. I said to Kirsty, I was fuming. Little thing, I was like, I was on the edge. I was like, my kids were, if they were being annoying, I was like, stop it, kind of thing. I was.
So you don't have that issue, do you, Tim? Because you can just eat what you want and not gain weight.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you've always been the same, haven't you? It doesn't matter what you eat. Then you can maintain your weight. I gave up smoking 12 years ago now, 12, 13 years ago, and I ballooned after I gave up smoking. Because obviously I met you when I was a smoker, and I was still 11.5, so I think I was 77 kilograms when I weighed myself at work.
Yeah.
And now I'm over 100. But it was giving up smoking just destroyed my my eating habits.
Yeah.
Although in saying that, I used to eat quite a lot back then.
I was going to say you used to go all you can eat, and you had plates and plates and plates.
I used to eat more when I was skinny than I do now when I'm fat.
Mm.
It was incredible. But yeah, we'd be at an all you can eat for about 2 hours, and I'd be the only one still there eating. And everyone's going, fuck's sake, can we leave now? We're not had enough. But the irony of it is I'd leave the all you can eat, go home, and get the cake out of the fridge and sit and eat the cake as well. It was incredible. I used to eat so much. Just can't do that anymore because too fat. So I need to find something else to do. So what I've done is I've signed up for a Sunday League football team. Not to play on a Sunday, just to train with them on a Wednesday.
You found one then?
I found a team, right, the FC Universal, and they're going to let me join them just for training.
Fair play.
Every Wednesday. So I'm now going to be training on a Wednesday and playing on a Friday, minimum every week. Plus, we're now going to try and get golf in a minimum of once a month.
Yeah.
Well, that's 6.5 mile walk the way we play golf because we don't hit in straight lines, let's be honest. It'd be a lot less walking if we did it in straight lines, I'll tell you that for nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we end up zigzagging across the course, so about 6.5 miles. I did
and we carry as well.
The 2 games.
And we carry our clubs.
We make sure we carry. We've got trolleys, but we make sure we carry because obviously it helps with the weight loss. I think if I look like Tin Ribs, I'd probably just take a trolley.
You'd ride a buggy if you look like him.
Yeah, I probably would. I wouldn't care. But yeah, so I need the exercise, so I carry. So yeah, so there's the plan, boys. I've now joined a team that I can train with. Thank you, FC Universal. Every Wednesday. So yeah, putting in the work. But I'm seeing the rewards because I'm now.
See, I wouldn't be able to do
16.
Do that because my wife would go nuts.
I shouldn't be doing that because I'm up for work at 11:30, and the training's 7 till 8. So I'm going to struggle when it comes to work. But if it's worth it, you'll put the effort in, won't you? And I'm going to put the effort in. It's maybe not worth arguing over, but
no, my social life. She says my social life is too much.
Because you do a pod every week.
I do a pod every week. I play badminton. I play football.
Oh, so you do the badminton? So
I do a badminton on a Monday.
Then. Yeah, so
I do have an extra, and that's
day,
completely different movement to football as well. So it helps.
For those that don't know,
different.
It is actually quite hard work on a badminton court.
And I do put the effort in as
It's
well.
only a small court, and there's only you to hit that shuttlecock back over.
Well, I do do doubles.
Oh, boring.
When it does go singles, I tell you what, it is hard work. When we've done that. Sometimes it's been 2 against 1, and that gets difficult.
Jesus Christ, yeah, I can imagine that's not fun.
Yeah, it is fun, actually.
Oh, fuck that, I can
tell I've done it, and I'm like, oh, that's hard work.
I don't mind training to do the extra effort. Oh, Jesus Christ. 2-on-1 badminton, that's a bit much, even for me. That's a bit much. So, what are we looking forward to? What are we not looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to watching another Southampton game, I think.
Well, you've got Ipswich, so...
No,
you've got Everton next in the Cup, haven't you?
Yeah. You've got a Cup gamers. Have you got Cup or Champions League this week?
Do you know what? I'm not sure.
Because it's one or the other. Because obviously, you were protected in the League Cup draw.
We were, yeah. We've got Atalanta away.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to listening.
For those that don't know, that's not the League Cup.
Yeah. The thanks to you giving me the
MixLR.
Tuesday night's going to be fun at work because Macclesfield are away to FC Manchester.
Yes. Yeah,
So
that could be an interesting
That'll
game.
be a good game. So I'm quite looking forward to that.
So you're going to have that on at work, are you?
Yeah, because I'll finish at 9, so last hour.
Should be a good game. I mean, FC United and Manchester, they went through the leagues quite quickly, didn't they? Because they were like the anti-Glazier team.
And they had a lot of the youth that sort of weren't going to make it big.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they've got to this level and they've kind of sustained
they've definitely
now.
plateaued.
They've plateaued.
But that's what's going to happen because what you got to remember is like...
They've gone to Salford instead.
Yeah, but it's not that. So FC Manchester had a bunch of... And I'm going to say this not in disrespect, but we all know how brutal the world of football is.
Yes.
So to get FC Manchester up and running, you had a bunch of lads who were in the Manchester United Academy who were never going to make it. They were never going to be professionals, or at least of significance, who all went and played probably about 4 leagues below where they should be in a semi-pro league.
Yep.
They all dropped down, fair play, and they raced up the table because they were 4 leagues ahead of themselves.
Yeah.
But now they've attained their level. It's a bit like Anthony. He looks like a dick every week because he's absolutely shite. But then he plays, was it Barrow, scores a goal and raves around and runs around like he's just fucking won the World Cup. Well, you found your level. Congratulations, League 2. Oh, sorry, were they League 1?
No, we're just going to take a quick break.
Oh.
Sorry about that. We've just had a quick break because my other half had a bit of a meltdown in the house. So, where were we? Anyway, we were complaining about League 2.
No, I was just saying, Anthony's just...
Found his level.
Found his level. And that's what happens. People just find that... You will find your level.
Yeah. It is what it is. Mac were a little bit worried about that they weren't going to get back up to League 2 or Conference.
Yeah.
Because you sort of... You play with what you've got, don't you? So obviously Mac have been getting players in that... I mean, I certainly think at the moment we've got players in that are slightly above the level that we're at. We're quite lucky. We're quite lucky in the fact that we've got names at the club.
There seems a bit of a turnover as well each year as well because you lost a lot of players and it's always chopping and changing. So the way things are going, it looks like actually not going up may actually be an advantage to you. Like, because you've steamrolled the way through.
It was. This season, I don't think so.
No, you've got to go up.
I think we need to go up this season. Last season, I think it helped us getting beaten in the final, as much as it didn't look like it at the time. I think it really has. It's helped us to take a breath, take stock, and now move forward again.
Because it was a tough year. I mean, at one point, it didn't look like it was going to happen at all. Even getting that
tragic.
far.
It's not like we got relegated and we're having to start again. We just didn't get promoted. Like, we're still in the same division. So we just take a breath, take stock, move forward. New players in. We've got some absolute cracking players at the minute, as displayed by the 5-0 win against South Shields.
And you hope that them players are the league ahead, if not the league ahead that one.
I think some of them, at the very least, are above the level that we're at. Some of the players should definitely be higher than we are right now. You've just got to hope they stay. Because there's so much chopping and changing down at this level.
And some of them jump.
Players are going to be there.
And some of them jump 2 divisions.
Yeah, it's easily done. It's easily done. Certainly,
like you see some of the players go. I think there was one last season, wasn't there? And he jumped ship from Mac, and he ended up at Cheltenham or something, or Chesterfield. Whoever won the conference, it was like, oh, okay, that's a big jump. I can see why.
Hell of a jump, yeah. No one's going to complain at somebody making that jump, because it wouldn't. At the end of the day, you're going to, aren't you?
Scouts are looking at that level.
I mean, look at Vardy. He was down there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Made a jump up, and before you know it, he's in the England team.
Yeah.
So it does happen, and that's what players are going to be looking for. They might not all be looking at England, but they'll certainly
Ivan Toney.
Yeah, like Tony.
So, on this whole levels, have you heard Emma Hayes?
Oh,
now
I forgot about all this.
No, so this is.
I choose to forget about
I
it.
have managed to find the quote, and this.
Go on, bore us with it.
No, she's gonna win.
When I have fulfilled my role with the USA, it's a natural progression for me to be a manager of a top Premier League team. It's only right and fair that I get the opportunity, you entitled bitch.
I don't think that bit was part of the speech, by the way. I think Tinridge.
I have earned my stripes and should be given the chance to prove I'm as capable as Pep Guardiola and Alex Ferguson's of this world. The women's game has come a long way. It's only right in this day and age of equality, in a modern society, that I have the same equal opportunities that men do. Love, you need to stop taking crack.
I mean, there's comparing yourself. And there's comparing yourself. Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
And Pep Guardiola.
Oh, put it this way. She compared herself to Klopp as well, saying that she wished she was... She deserved to be on equal pay to Klopp, because Klopp can take a year out and she'd have loved to take a year out, but the pay is not fair. There's no gender equality. Because it's a different fucking game. That's why. Yes, it's football, but it's... levels of football.
We don't play the same.
We've already established
that they play in the Premier League. Let's be honest, it's a different game of football.
But the way it's going, we could pick a team of players on the Friday night. I mean, I wouldn't be in that team, but there is probably, you could pick 11 players, and they would give a top women's team a damn good game, if not beat them.
I think they probably would beat them. If we picked our best 11 from Friday night, I think they would beat a professional women's team.
Smash them.
I think they would beat a professional women's team.
Like we said, the Wrexham retired players.
I don't want to be harsh here, but the physicality level would change. Like you just literally brought it up. The Wrexham
retirees.
So they're retirees. Now, people now know who Wrexham are. The retirees were all semi-professionals. They were nobodies. We have semi-professionals turn up on a Friday night.
Yeah.
The USA World Cup women's team got battered by an under-15s boys team. Levels. I'm sorry. She is completely and totally delusional.
To think that she's capable of running a team the way Pep would, I don't think she would command that respect.
But where's she getting the entitlement from? I deserve No, you don't. You've achieved nothing in the men's game. Nothing. What entitles you to one of the most prestigious jobs in English football?
Oh, bless me, sorry.
And it's just the absolute audacity of her to say it is just absolutely...
She might have earned a chance in the men's game. That's fine.
Give her an interview.
Not in the Premier League.
Give her an interview. But I guarantee giving her a top flight job is the biggest mistake anyone would ever make.
I don't think she'd get a top flight
It
job.
reminds me of like when Sir Clive Woodward came on as like Southampton's director of football, because that worked out so brilliant because he won a Rugby England World Cup. He was going to make the transition over to football, and it's like it didn't work.
No, it was never going to.
The thing is, though, no one has done the step up into from women's football into men's football. And
we had that little sideshow, didn't we, a couple of years ago, where Forest Green Rovers decided that they were going to hire a female manager. Right. And they literally, the owner of Forest Green came on to TalkSport. We're a progressive club and we think this is going to be good for the game. We think it's going to be good for the women's game. Do you know how long she was in charge?
3 games.
Less than 3 games. She took over 2 friendlies and then they hired. Not my words before I get jumped on. Then they hired a real manager. Not my words.
Yeah.
Not my word. Do not shoot the messenger. They then hired a real manager who then I think lost 3 games in a row when the league started.
I'm not saying that a female manager can't go on and win something, but they've got to know the men's game.
No, they've got to learn the men's game.
And they've got to cut the teeth.
They don't even know the men's game.
They've got to cut the teeth.
It's different.
They can't jump from one to the other.
We sit here week in, week out, and we go, oh, we do this, we do that, we do the other. If somebody actually got hold of you, Tim Ribs, and chucked you in the middle of that fucking Leeds dressing room, you'd be a bit lost.
No shit.
Do you know what I mean? And like we all know it.
Yeah.
Like if somebody said to me, "We'll go and do Arteta's job," then yeah, fucking right, I would. I'd stand in the dressing room and be like, no, yeah, carry on, boys, as you were.
Could you be like,
Because you
could you try catching the ball, please, mate? And he just looks at you and go, when did you last play?
can you just be a bit less shit? And he'd just be like, who the fuck are you calling shit, mate?
Yeah.
Do you want to slap?
Yeah.
Like, not with them size 11 hands.
I mean, it's,
Jesus Christ. Put them away. So we all sit here and we go, I do this and I do this and I pick him and I do it all the time. And I sit here and go, he's not good enough, and I pick him and this first 11's not good enough.
But it's like,
if you actually got dumped there, and the same with Emma Hayes, man, and she's been a manager, she's been in the dressing room, but you stick her in the men's game, and she's faced with David Silva, and she's got Kevin De Bruyne, and she's got Erling Haaland. Is he going to listen to Emma Hayes? No. Come on.
But I mean,
he's not a disrespectful lad. Don't get me wrong. He doesn't come across like a disrespectful guy in any way, shape, or form. He actually comes across quite respectful, Erling Haaland. But is he going to take direction from Emma Hayes?
How about
probably not.
Former players? If we go for somebody, imagine somebody like Nicholas Anelka or something.
Can you
in the
imagine
dressing
Balotelli?
room? Balotelli
taking on what Emma Hayes has said.
He doesn't take it from anyone.
He didn't listen to fucking... He wouldn't have listened to Pep.
Okay, here we go. Let's even go even more extreme.
Zlatan.
No. Joey Barton. Imagine that.
Can you imagine a woman managing
Yeah, but hang on. Let's just take it back a bit. I mean, before we get all the hate, I'm very invested in women's football as a grassroots coach.
I've taken my lads down to the Emirates to watch the women.
I don't for one second think that girls can't play football, but people keep comparing them as the same sport. They're not the same sport. And the one argument that annoys me the most is we're not paid the same.
They're paid more.
Percentual, yeah. But the fact of the matter is...
Paid more.
The fact of the matter is...
The women get, I think is it 18% roughly of their income of their game?
Yeah.
And the men get paid 7%.
Yeah.
7%. Yeah.
But increase their income, their wage goes up.
The problem you've got
they already get paid more. They get paid 18% of what comes into the game. The men get paid 7% of what comes into the game. So they're already on a higher wage than
I just want to point out, I'm going to use a different sport because it's on parallel.
Tennis.
The NBA in America. The women are complaining they're not paid the same as the men. The NBA, or the WNBA, is subsidised, like all sports, from the men's sport. They make a loss every year. The men are literally keeping that sport alive. And they're bitching that they don't earn the same money. Their sport loses millions every year. It's hemorrhaging. No one gives a shit.
Have you ever spoken to a woman that complains that the women athletes don't get the same as the men? Now, this is athletes. Football, tennis, Olympians, whatever it is. Right? And one of the best arguments I've heard for this, I'll go through in a minute. But like, have you ever actually spoken to a woman that complains about it?
No.
Well, I have. Where women will stand there and go, why don't the women get paid the same as the men? And I'm like, okay, when was the last time you went to watch a women's game of football? Well, never. If you're not watching it, how do you expect them to earn the same?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're fighting for them and you're not watching it, then who is? Because you're fighting for their right. And one guy came on telly and he said, right, okay, so if you take the top 30 male sprinters in the world, top 30 male sprinters, you probably find 25 of them are black. Are you telling me the white athletes, the white sprinters, should get the same amount of money as the black sprinters? No, because they're not as fast. So you get less money because you're not as good. Guess what? The black guys, they're better than you. So they get more money than you. Do you hear the other guys below them arguing?
No.
No, because they're aware of why they're getting paid less. Why are the women not aware of why they're getting paid less? And you can go on about, well, I went down to the Emirates and it was a sold-out stadium. That ticket income probably makes up less than 2% of what the men earn. It all comes from TV rights.
Yeah, but
that's
also,
where the money's made.
How much did you pay for those tickets to go to the Emirates?
The whole day cost me £200.
Right.
One ticket to the Emirates would probably cost me more than that right now.
I was about to say. That was for you and your two boys.
That was for me, my two boys. That was for 2 meals.
Yeah.
One in the morning, one in the afternoon. That was for all 3 tickets. That was for my petrol and the tube ride there and back for all 3 of us.
So that's 200. But
200 quid total for the
what's
day.
the average ticket price at Arsenal at the moment? £75.
I think it's a bit more than that actually at Arsenal. It's
So
more like 85, 90.
Yeah, so immediately you buy one ticket, you're pretty much half of that budget.
Well, I could afford one ticket and then take myself down and feed myself twice.
Yeah.
That would cost me 200 quid.
That's my point.
Just me.
Revenue levels are completely different.
Totally different.
Once, again, this is, and Simon Jordan nailed it. He said the women's game needs to step out of the shadows of the men's game. They need to walk away and literally become its own entity and say, we'll sort this. We'll sort our own TV rights. We'll sort out our own sponsorships, our own fees, and we will take care of ourselves. When they do that, then they can bring the argument of pay to the table.
If the WSL came out and said, we are going to start our own streaming service, and it's £7 a month.
I'll pay.
There you go. There's 2 straight off. The don't really watch women's football very often. I watch
it all the time.
When I can, I'll watch it. But if they offered a streaming service, I'd go out of my way to watch it. Because I'd pay the £7. I'd be like, every time Arsenal... I would treat the women's Arsenal team the same way I treat the men's Arsenal team. Just differently. Because they're the men, they're the women. I don't support you in the FA Cup. I support you in the Women's FA Cup. I support you in the FA Cup. Not that you're ever going to fucking win it again. At least the women have got a shot of winning it. But I would pay that £7 a month, £8 a month, whatever. I'd pay it. And I'd go, okay, I'll have the streaming service where I can watch every women's game. They would make more money out of that streaming service than they will ever make out of ticket revenue. I guarantee it. Because people would pay it because they'd be like, well, I don't have to spend £200 to take my 2 lads down to watch it. I can pay £7 a month and watch every game. How many people extra do you reckon would do that? I reckon there'd be loads.
Thing is, though, another one. Obviously, we're going to use the Emirates as the example here. The Emirates for the North London derby was sold out. Did the women play at Emirates every week?
The other week?
No, every week.
No.
No, of course they don't. Where do they play?
They've changed, haven't they? They used to play at I was going to say Burton Albion then, but it's not Burton Albion. It's I can't remember what they're called.
You know what?
There's a lower league side in London, and they play there. And I can't
with
remember
probably a maximum capacity of about 12,000.
I think it's less than that.
And then when you watch the highlights, it's dead.
City built their own specific women's stadium opposite the Etihad.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's a lovely
Looks
stadium.
It is.
But it's probably a maximum of 12, 13,000 in
And they
it.
don't sell.
And I don't think they sell it out every week.
No.
North London derby will always sell. That's why they put it in the
It's just
Emirates.
Arsenal Tottenham.
Exactly.
But it's the same as the Southampton women. They will play Portsmouth women, and that game will be at St Mary's.
Yep.
Every other game is not at St Mary's.
Sold out, if not sold out.
Yeah.
For Saints.
But that's because people aren't going. Until you get the customers to the door, the revenue through
the
TV
problem is, though, they're the games they're pushing.
Yeah,
They'll go, well, Arsenal Tottenham sold out 63,000 at the
but
end. It's gonna. It's Arsenal Tottenham.
if you cherry pick the stats you want to use, it will always look good.
Of course it will.
You've always got an argument if you are ignorant to 90% of the facts.
Yeah.
And but
So many people are like that
There you
nowadays.
go.
It's
no,
embarrassing.
it's just the way the world's gone. The way the world's gone is, I'm going to cherry pick 3 facts from 20. I'm going to use them and put out a stupid argument. I love the women's game. I really do. And like I said, I've got a vested interest. I coach multiple levels of girls. I follow it myself. And I love it as a sport. It's a great sport. It's not the same sport. And to try and make out that it is frustrating, because it, you know what? I think it lowers women's standards. Because you've got Kelly Smith. Let's take Kelly Smith. Fantastic player. Leagues above, especially at her time. You telling me she could get on the pitch with Paul Scholes?
Kelly Smith was our best player by a country mile.
Now,
Yeah.
But she would have never stepped into that.
no. But what my point is...
Her alongside Patrick Vieira against Roy Keane just wouldn't have happened.
But my point here stands, right? You can either herald her as the phenomenal player she was, because she was, and you can see her, and hell, build a stadium for Arsenal's ladies, put a statue of her outside, because you know what? She fucking deserves it.
She was that good.
Right?
She was great.
Herald her as a leading superstar, because she was a superstar. Right?
Yeah, back before women's football was even watched.
And this is my point. So she stood out in an age where women's football was barely heard of.
Yeah.
So, why don't... If you've now got an icon, but if you start comparing her to the men, you are belittling her. You are overshadowing her, and it's wrong. It's time people just stop trying to compare. Just have it completely as its own entity. And if you start doing that, fine. If you've got a female coach who does have the credentials, Christina Weigman, for example, if someone turned around and says, why don't we give her a couple of shots at the England manager's job? She's done it with the women. Go on then. I mean, she can't be doing any fucking worse than what we've got.
I'd actually be interested to see how it went with the England team, just because the England team was so boring at the minute.
I think that she would probably win the games that have just been played.
Well, of course she would, because we're going to win them anyway. Like, literally, us 3 could walk into the dressing room and we'd win them games. Just put out the right team.
Yeah. But my point...
Because all we got to do is manage it. We get to hire coaches, and guess what? We can hire the best coaches in the world that know more than us.
Yeah.
Winner.
It's not coming out of your pocket.
But,
no.
But you can do that. You can sort of have a go, especially at international level, because managers can just be coming and going internationally. The money's not the same. It's not the same sort of position. You're not bringing in, for example, Daniel Farker, Leeds manager at the moment. He's brought in the players he wants. It's his style. It's his system. It's his players. The next manager is going to come in, and he's then got to sort of work with that set of players that might not play to his style. With England, You walk in and you go, well, I've got every English player to choose from, so I can play any formation, any system, because the players are there.
Yeah, just pick as long as they're English. I can
But
have them.
I'm happy for that. If you've got the credentials, have a go. But don't stand there demanding and telling me that you deserve it when you've done nothing. Wayne Rooney was a phenomenal player. Let's be honest, phenomenal player. What a shit manager. Are you telling me he should turn around and go, oh, I deserve the Man United job? Mate, you're barely struggling at fucking Portsmouth.
To be
Piss
fair,
off.
I'd love to see him at Man United.
Oh, I'd love to see him.
Just
Yeah.
like to throw it out there. And I'd love to see Steven Gerrard managing Liverpool as well. I'd like to throw that out there as well.
But just because you're a great player doesn't mean that you'd be a great manager.
No, but what I'm saying is...
Just because you're a great manager doesn't mean that you're a great player.
Awesome.
And we've proven that. But the point stands. How has she got the gall to stand there and say, I deserve it, I should be given...
Because she's been raised so high in the women's game.
Yeah.
She's raised herself so high. Full stop.
So that's like saying...
She's a woke ambassador.
One of them, yeah.
But that's like saying, I'm a top manager at Cadbury's. Yeah. I'm a top manager at Cadbury's. I'm going to go to JCB and be a top manager at JCB. I know nothing about building diggers, but I'm a top manager, so I'm going to go over there and show them how to build a chocolate biscuit. Okay. It's... Yeah, just because you're good at one thing doesn't mean you're going to be the same at the other. And it's just... The gall on her is just absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah. It's shocking. So, anyway, that's our take on women's football, men's football, and the combination between the two. So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to wrap that up, boys.
Yeah, I kind of went off on one, didn't I?
That's fine. That's what this is for. It's put your opinion out there. That's the whole point of us getting together and recording it, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just going to clip his bit so he gets all the crap this week.
Yeah!
Black screen,
just a picture of a snowflake, and then Tim's voice going over the back of it. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to wrap that up for this week's pushing on a little bit now, and we shall see you beautiful, beautiful people next week.